Life is Entertainment, I just sit here and think about the history of hip hop and how far it's come. And, ever since the whole Drake Kendrick beef, like it just took a shift and it's like, it's dry. Like you have G Herbo, Lil Herb, that was a phenomenal album. His best album was probably PTSD, Strictly for My Fans. Those are some great albums. Little Uzi's kind of like falling off a little bit, but if you just come back to the beginning, right? And I'll say my beginning because I was from the generation of Biggie. I was from the generation of the whole Bad Boy era where everybody was unified. We saw Busta Rhymes in the video. You saw Missy Elliott. You saw Aaliyah. You saw Mary J. Blige. Total was on the hook. Total was in the music videos, and it was choreography. It was dancing. It was just a different era, and it was like everyone really got along. It was like before Pac and everything. Pretty much everyone got along. At least everyone got along in New York. Where I feel like every time a Brooklyn rapper come out, he's got beef with this person in New York. This I'm the best, I'm the king, and everybody wants to be the king. I'm like, why can't we share? Like, and I think that's what happened with the South. The South came in and they was like, yo, ain't no king. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about T.I. Jeezy. Yeah, you had the Jeezy and Gucci beef, but that was real beef. This ain't music. This was like someone died. And that's why I feel like with the Biggie and Pac thing, you have to understand it. Like people were dying, people were getting killed, people were getting shot. Once someone gets shot, it's like it's serious, it's real. Um, so for me, the best era of hip hop was probably like 9-5, 2005. You know, even when the Bad Boy died down, like the end of Bad Boy era with Mace and Harlem World, the way they did those samples and those choruses and those beats, oh man. But even when G Unit came and Dipset came, it was still unified. They didn't really have beef, and it was the locks, and it was like, all right, cool, 50, after a while, he started going up, and 50 kind of like ruined things because he was like, nah, if you're not with me, you against me, you do something with Ja Rule. And it was just like, why do we have to be like that? Even though that was a real beef. It wasn't just music. It was like people were getting shot, robbed, killed, potentially, right? So I understood that. But even the Ja Rule era, Holla Holla, Veni Vedi Vici album was a phenomenal album. They had the 336 album, you know. But the problem where we lost in New York was we wasn't unified. Once we separated and said, yo, I'm the best, no, I'm the best and all that, and I thought it was coming back when Pop Smoke came in the game. I was like, okay, because I wasn't really a fan of drill rap, but he made me like drill rap. And I'm like, I'm listening to it. And I'll be honest with you, I really didn't catch the wave of Pop Smoke until right before he died. Like he dropped Meet the Woo 2. I was like, yo, this dude got it. And I'm just like, I wake up one day and they like, yo, Pop Smoke. I'm like, nah, y'all lying. Like, yo, he got shot. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, you can't get a good Brooklyn rapper. They either get shot, they either get killed or they go to jail. Even Troy Ave, I was like, oh, Troy Ave. Then the shit happens with him. So it's like, there's so many times where I'm just like, we just lost our moment. I'm like, can we just get our moment back? Like, the Dipset era, like when they were unified, when it was Dipset, before Jim Jones branched off, they were at their peak. The Diplomatic Immunity album was one of the best albums of hip hop. Like the first of the month, Beautiful Noise, when Jim Jones came off on that, I Really Mean It. Dipset Anthem, Are You Crazy? These was like phenomenal records. And then G Unit, Beg for Mercy, and Hunger for More, and even Young Buck came through with the Straight Out of Cashville and The Game. And it's like once they started breaking up, like everybody was breaking up around the same time. Like Game left, and then Jim Jones was going on his own, and then he started the Bird Gang thing. And I still had faith. I was like Max B, Stack Bundles, Mel Matrix. I'm like it's over. Then Stack Bundles dies. Max B goes to jail. Well, before he goes to jail, he has beef with Jim Jones, and I'm like, you started to see it, just started to shift to go left, and I'm like, damn, like yo, we can never get a break in New York. And then you see the South just start rising and rising. Like, yeah, they had the Jeezy, you had the T.I., but it started to really go off when you had the Little Baby, you had the Gunna, the Young Thug, and it was unity at one point. But then you see Atlanta starting to get divided, and it's not the same anymore. But I'm telling you, once the beef started and I'm the best, and forget this other guy, that's when it starts to fall apart. But hip hop is about unity and making collaborative records and stuff like that. So I'm just like, I wanted to go back to that where everybody's back, because some of the best records with Lil Baby were with Gunna, some of the best records with Rick Ross were with Drake, and it's like, now that it's all broken up, the music just don't sound the same. Metro Boomin not making beats for Drake anymore, and Future and 21, all together. It makes a difference. I'm telling you, like even with Chief Keef and the whole Chicago thing, when he came through, he had Young Chop, and as soon as he stopped messing with Young Chop, the music started to fade because Chief Keef said, "I'm gonna make the beats," but it's like that unity, that OTF. I'm not from Chicago, but I was like, I was in my living room, like, don't like, you know what I'm saying? At the top, it's just us, like Little Reese, but then, Lil Durk started to branch off, and now Lil Durk is going through what he's going through. I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? But G Herbo's like, nah, I'm staying away from all that. But, like, King Louis, people don't know about King Louis. Even when the French Montana wave came out, and when he just branched off when Max B went to jail, French Montana was at the top. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, hopefully when Max B back, hopefully we get back more of that unity, and hip hop could be, number one in New York, and we could get that sound back in Atlanta, that unity, and it would be great, man.